Hello friends, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink with another video using another one of the newly released embossing folder and coordinating cutting die sets that Simon released earlier this month. I've done videos on a few of the other folders and I promised I would do probably a video for each one because I'm having so much fun with them. So these folders are the 3D embossing folder, and then there is a coordinating wafer die, and they're separate. There have been different products on the market where the wafer die is part of the folder, and Simon actually had one last year. Was it Stamp Timber? There was that snowflake one, and the dies were like part of the folder, so embossed and cut at the same time. Honestly, I like having them separate. I find it just works better, and you're also not going to wear out the folder because the cutting dies are going to wear the folder out. You're only going to be able to use it so many times before it's just not going to work anymore. You know what I mean? Whereas having it separate, this way I can just use my regular cutting plates and I'm good to go. So I get personal preference. This is mine. I've mentioned this many times, like how I use the folders, like what sandwich I use with my machine. Simon has it listed with their products on their website, all the different options for many different, like all the popular die cut machines. So you use what works for you. I like to emboss and then I die cut. And when you die cut the panel, it will flatten out a bit. The detail's still there, but you obviously lose the dimension. So after I've die cut it, I emboss it a second time. And I've been asked if you could just die cut, cardstock and then emboss it. Again, you try it, see what works. I personally find it works easiest to emboss and then die cut and then emboss again because it just, shimmies into place. But maybe it would save a step if you die cut first and emboss it. I don't know. I got my little habit going and it's working. So I've die cut this flower and it's got all its detail, and as usual my filming lights are quite bright, so it kind of washes out a lot of the detail, but I can mostly see it. Sometimes I have to tilt it up. So this Alstroemeria, if you Google it, and that's literally what I did, I've seen these flowers before. They're not, I think up here we can only have them as container plants. I think in warmer climates they're perennials. They're gorgeous and they come in like every color possible. I would love to just like fill flower beds with these. They're so pretty. And again, sky's the limit. Although, like I always say, when it comes to florals, do whatever works for you. Things don't need to be exact. Imagination is a thing. It's like, oh, this doesn't exist in nature. Whatever, this isn't nature, it's paper, and we're having fun with it. So I did Google it just to give me some ideas, and that's what inspired the coloring. And then I just used my Copic Markers to color this. I have super sped this up in editing because I'm not really doing anything fancy. I was just throwing color down, really. I like how these flowers have these sort of like dots on them. They are a form of lily. From the little bit of Googling I was doing with the images, I didn't bother really researching. I was like, I just want some color ideas, So I went lightest to darkest with my color combos and kind of kept things not quite so blended and a little bit sketchy. And then once I was satisfied with the coloring, I pulled out my white gel pen, and this I purposely kept a little more sketchy. I kind of didn't press. You don't really need to press with this. This is the Jelly Roll 10 white gel pen. This is my favorite of all the ones I've ever used. This one, just chef's kiss. So I added some sketchy little bits of detail, highlights, just to kind of bring out a bit more of the detail. And once I was happy with it, I also decided I'm going to add some splatter to the background. So I went a little extra and I mixed two colors. Totally not necessary. I don't think anyone is going to tell oh, this isn't quite picked raspberry, but it's not quite, I used a drop of picked raspberry and just a little drop of saltwater taffy distress paints just to get it close to the color of the flower. And then a drop of water. I don't often add water when I'm using my distress paints for splatter. It just depends. Certain colors are thicker than others. They definitely vary. It just depends on like the pigment load and that sort of a thing. But mix those two colors together, added a little bit of water, picked up the paint with my fan brush, splattered a bit on the background, splattered a bit on the flower just cuz, set those aside to dry. And then, of course, I'm using the Bold Thanks wafer dye that, makes an appearance in, 90% of my videos. Because it's a favorite. I went over this in my last video, just raving about how much I love this wafer dye. So, I was going to do it in just pink cardstock. But then I was like, what if I do the under layers pink? And then the top layer I die cut from Simon's white glossy cardstock. So that the pink just kind of peeks out underneath. Love. Plus it tones it down because I didn't want it to, compete with the flower. So I stacked the layers together. And then I also pulled out my oldie but goodie favorite, the Etched Dragonfly wafer dye. This is another one that has made an appearance on many cards. It is just, I love this wafer dye. And I really, really would love more sizes of it. I've said this many times. I need to put in an official request or something, But anywho. I die cut the body from white cardstock. I use the same yellows for just to quickly color it. The wings I die cut from Lawn Fawn's pearlescent vellum. I've shown this many times as well. It's, again, chef's kiss. Lawn Fawn pearlescent vellum is just kind of a must-have that everyone should have some in their stash. I use it mostly for things like this, like just little wings of little dragonflies and bees and butterflies, and it's just gorgeous. So pretty. And zero effort. You just die cut it and glue it and you're done. So that was my little dragonfly. And then I pulled out just a little scrap of yellow cardstock. And I stamped a little companion sentiment. This is the CZ Design Spring in My Step stamp set. And after I stamped it with the Nocturne ink, I quickly blasted it with my heat tool because I've mentioned this many times. Nocturne ink takes a while to dry and I am really bad for smearing it. So I made sure it was dry. And then I fiddled a little bit with it in my guillotine cutter and trimmed it down even more. And then I also trimmed down my embossed and splattered background. The paint is now dry. So I trimmed that down to roughly a little bit bigger than 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I wanted it a bit smaller than my A2 card base, which I have now in my Misty. And I'm going to stamp this big paper hug stamp. This is from that same CZ Design Spring in My Step stamp set. I love the sentiments in that set. They're just so perfect. So I stamped that sentiment on the inside of the card with Simon's Peony Positively Saturated ink. And then now I'm going to assemble everything on my card front. And again, this is why I think I'm really loving these embossing folders with the cutting dies. Everything just fits together. When you go to put it all together again, it just, I get that weird sense of satisfaction. It's the same as, when heat embossing and, the emboss powder melts and it's all shiny. Those sorts of things. It's just, anyway. Adhered the flower, adhered my die cut sentiment, and then that little companion sentiment strip, I just trimmed down a couple little strips from the remainder of that scrap and adhered those together. And then I'll stick that to the back of this little sentiment strip so it pops it up a little bit. So got that adhered into place. And then I'm going to adhere that right below my die cut sentiment. So once that's adhered, I'll then adhere my little dragonfly. So he's flying up to this little flower. Just cuz. So I'm going to adhere him into place. And then I had already backed this panel with some Studio Caudia foam tape. And like I've mentioned in other videos, regardless of what foam tape you're using, sometimes it's more finicky than others. It just sort of depends. And it also doesn't help that my fingernails are like little nubbins. They're just a mess. So if you have release paper that doesn't want to come away from your foam tape or your red line tape, any sort of adhesive like that, a good pair of my cutter bees, fine tipped scissors, or I'll use my die pick. And you just kind of work it under the corner of the release paper. Once you've got that up, you're good to go. So I was able to do that, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to use my fingers on this one. Yeah, no. So just remove it with the scissors, peel it off. Then I can pop this into place onto my card base. And of course, I'm just looking to add some bling. And of course, it's going to be the Studio Caudia round iridescent gems, because I don't bother even putting these away. They just sit on my desk because they just go with everything. So fiddled with the placement of these till I was happy with it. Again, not really following any rules. Sometimes odd numbers, triangle formation, that sort of a thing. But at the same time, I just stick them where I think they're going to look nice. So I glue them into place with my craft tacky glue. And then I'm going to pair this card with one of Simon's dandelion yellow envelopes. And that finished off this card. So I'm trying to tilt it here so you guys can see that embossing, because again, my lights kind of wash it out. So the background's all embossed, and then I have the separate, die cut colored image, and my shimmery little dragonfly, and the glossy die cut sentiment, and this was fun. This was a lot of fun to make. I will have links, as always, to the supplies I used. I'll also link to the other videos I've done so far with these embossing folders and just experimenting with all the things. So you can check all the supply info out directly below the video, along with my blog post. That'll be linked below as well. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping and commenting. I very much appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.